Sheep Without a Shepherd is a Chinese thriller noir film. It is a remake of the Indian Malayalam language film Drishyam. So that wasn't what interested me. I saw Joan Chen on the front cover, and I saw this on the shelf of a video store before they closed, and Canopy had it, so I figured I'd check it out. It is about Lee Weijie. He is an internet technician who lives in Thailand with his family. He's got a wife and two daughters. They live a very modest life. He sets up internet connections for people. He's a very nice family man. However, when he's gone on a business trip setting up something, his daughter, while she's at summer camp, she gets assaulted by a classmate who ends up being the son of the police chief, and she's corrupt, essentially. So when they basically commit a terrible crime to get revenge on the assault, Lee Weijie has to basically use all of his film studies to cover up the crime. I'm not describing it appropriately. He's basically a simple man with no schooling, and he's a huge film buff, so he's seen so many films that he copies films in order to cover up the crime to save his family from the police. So immediately this movie has a really tight script. Immediately at the beginning of the film, they introduce the characters and we know who they are. You know, that we know that the police chief woman, La Wen, she is ruthless, she's unrelenting, she can plant evidence, she doesn't care, you know, she's very loose with her morals. We get that immediately at the beginning of the film. Same for La Weijie. He's basically like a really good guy, but there's like a mention of like a guy unable to pay his internet bill, and he doesn't cut him off. So the script is really tight with characters, and then the movie just gets deeper and deeper. And I really like the ambitious scope of it. It starts off as a crime thriller film noir, trying to hide the body, stuff like that. But then the father, starts coaching his family on an alibi, and starts, using all of his film knowledge to basically come up with an airtight alibi with witnesses, but also, other tactics on how to like fight the interrogation. So when the police come after him, and they do, they basically are able to fight it, and it becomes a sort of battle of wills. And it quickly turns political because it's sort of a situation that, explodes, basically. It just keeps getting twistier and twistier. I was going to give this movie a perfect score. However, the ending botches everything. The ending doesn't make sense. The ending also changes from the original film. That's what I've read, so that's disappointing. And this might be due to China's censorship laws. They can't end movies a certain way because they feel like, they can't feel... It reminds me of those noir films of the 30s and 40s that always have a happy ending, even though the villain is really amazing. It always made me angry that people can't get away with murder back in the 30s and 40s because, it's not good morals. So the villain slips up, or the good guy just has a rabbit out of their hat that catches the bad guy, or the scheming housewife who wants to kill her husband for money or whatever. So this movie does the same thing, and it also does the same thing in another movie the same year, 2019. Another movie starts off really great, twisty, but then it ends really awkwardly because the movie has to have a crime doesn't pay ending. So that I don't know if that was the case for this movie, but if it was, then it tanks it a lot because it should have had a different ending. So I give Sheep Without a Shepherd a solid 7 out of 10.